Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another Sunday video. In this one, my friends, we're gonna be testing the Radeon R9 270X in 2024. So, AMD released this GPU back in 2013, 2012, and 2015. This was back in the AMD Radeon days. 12 years ago, in 2012, AMD released the HD 7000 series with their awesome GCN 1.0 architecture. Since it was such a great architecture, a year later, they rebranded the HD 7870 into the R9 270X. The only thing that changed between these two GPUs was the 270X was a lot cheaper, coming in at $199 back in 2013, and the 7870 was $349, so a steep price drop indeed. And then a couple of years later, in 2015, AMD decided to release the same GPU again as the R9 370X. Yes, R9 270X to R9 370X being the same GPU is quite misleading, but the worst part is it's released for the exact same price as the 270X 2 years later, and not only that, the 370X also came with slower clock speeds than the 270X, making the 270X slightly faster. Anyways, let's go over the 270X's specs now. So this is his mini IceQ version of the card. It has 1280 shading units, 80 TMUs, 32 ROPs, 2GB of GDDR5 memory running on a 256-bit memory bus, and it consumes 180 watts of power, which is quite a lot. Finally, we're using the latest legacy drivers for it. I'm not using modded drivers today because, well, for the games I'm testing, it's not really going to make a difference. And we're pairing it with a Ryzen 5 3600X, 16GB of RAM, and a couple of 512GB SSDs in the Minisforum B550 mini PC. Let's play some games on this thing, shall we? And first up, we got Counter-Strike 2. We're playing this one at 1080p resolution using the lowest settings here without any FSR. And as usual, I'm just going to play through a little bit of a deathmatch here, and then I'm gonna use some smokes in a casual match to see worst case scenario, guys. Oh boy, come on, just move, you bastard. There we go. It feels pretty smooth. I actually thought it was gonna be a little bit worse because when I started, I played it at 720p for a little bit and got like 140 FPS average. My god. I can certainly feel some slowdown sometimes, guys, whenever they are very, very close to us. Oh, actually, this is very interesting to check out. Like, if I'm standing right here and start shooting at him, FPS go down slightly, like by 15 frames per second, just because of some blood, I guess, coming out of their bodies. That might be a little bit intensive for older GPUs, apparently. Let's go. Whoa, another one. Come on. Yes. There we go. Auto shotgun for the win. Oh, yes. Just leave me alone. Damn it. Oh, come on. You know what? This is feeling alright. I can feel a little bit of input lag for sure because the GPU is maxed out, so you might want to lock the FPS to like 100 or 90 or something like that to achieve more or less, actually, input lag, a little bit quicker reactions, you know? But it certainly is very playable still. I mean, I'm first place at the moment. Nice. Another one down. 15 bullets on the Galil. Let's go. Another headshot. We can do this. Yes, sir. There we go. First place. Oh, yes. What a strong start for a video, my friends. Let's check out those smokes now. Now, keep in mind, this is a little bit more intensive than competitive mode, and it's dropping into the 40s, as you can see, because in competitive, you don't have, like, 20 people running around or whatever. I don't know the exact number, but whatever. Let's throw the AG grenade. This drops the FPS by the most. Holy crap, little stutter there. Probably just a one-off, you know. It won't really happen that often, but this is still going to be playable. And in competitive, since you have 5v5, it's also a little bit less intensive, as I was saying. Next is Hogwarts Legacy, guys, and we're playing at 720p using FSR1 on performance, which means that it's 50% resolution scale, so it's actually 360p. The sharpening is set to the maximum, but it's still not enough, and we're using the lowest settings, of course. And well, this is a recent title, guys, so I wasn't really expecting it to run at all on honestly. But then I remembered that it ran on my HD 7970, I think, and, well, I decided to install it, and here we are, getting 30-ish frames per second in Hogsmeade, which is one of the most intensive areas in the game. Now, let's wreck this GPU's performance, okay? Around here, it gets really, really GPU intensive, and look at that, okay. Oh, boy! 25! So you thought this was gonna be playable, right? Well, think again, because drops into the 20s, it's definitely not enjoyable. Still, I expected it to drop a little bit further around this area right here with these trees, and it's keeping up there into the 30s. Not terrible. But you know what's terrible, guys? And I haven't really touched on that. These graphics look like puke. Okay, it literally looks like somebody poured Vaseline over your screen, and it's so damn blurry, so bad looking with FSR 1.0 on performance that I would definitely not recommend this experience, even though it's not a stuttery one and it would actually be playable in terms of FPS. Those graphics just kill the experience. You will have a headache if you play like this. Avoid, but it's still impressive. Okay, that was absolutely terrible, but this time let's play GTA 5 at 1080p using high settings, as you can see, and no advanced graphics, of course. These are very, very intensive. And this one both looks beautiful and runs amazing on something like the R9 270X. Look at this. It's so smooth right now. Holy crap. Here we go. I just started counting the FPS. I am expecting a buttery smooth experience because this game is very well optimized. Oh, I'm driving better in this one than in many of the videos that I've made so far. Okay. Let's try not to run someone over here. Yeah, I don't know why I still try. It never works. I've probably not hit anybody there like once in like 500 tries. Oh boy. Oh, look at this. Over near the grass, it's still not dropping from 60 FPS. That's pretty strong performance. Hello, Jack. How's it going? Oh, looking beautiful here at 1080p high settings for sure. Anyways, around here, it actually dips down into the 50s sometimes to like 59, but not a problem. And goodbye, Bob. 85 FPS average, 1% lows at 59, 0 stuttering because it's an older title, you know. That's amazing. It's great to be back to GTA every time. Next is the usually very beautiful and gorgeous Red Dead Redemption 2, but we're playing at 720p using the lowest settings with medium TAA, and I added some sharpening to it as well. And, well, it's not as beautiful. I mean, the lighting still looks amazing and the colors really pop and I like it, but those textures, guys, holy crap! Now we can actually go into the config files to change that horrible looking texture quality, and that will probably cause a little bit of instability, but I mean, this is terrible looking, so I will do it anyways. Okay, so you need to go to your Documents folder, Rockstar Games, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Settings, and then open this one, system.xml, with Notepad or something like that, Notepad++, Word, document, whatever. Then you need to find the texture quality setting right here and set that to Ultra, alright? Just type Ultra right there, save it, and go back to the game, and then it will work. Well, guys, I'm back here, still on the low texture quality because the game crashed every single time with high and ultra texture quality, so, yeah, it doesn't work. We're stuck with these horrible textures. Oh boy, I'm gonna start counting our FPS. We're gonna make our way to Strawberry Town and see the lowest FPS there because it's a very intensive scenario, okay? Like, what the hell are these textures? This looks like 1995 textures or something like that. It's crazy. But again, if you were all about that story, and this game's story is absolutely amazing, well, it is playable. We're finally in Strawberry, as you can see. It drops into the 30s because it's much more intensive around here, as I told you. And I actually thought it would drop a little bit less than it did. Like low 30s coming from 50s or 40s. Yeah, it's rough. Around here, looking at the water, things are still pretty much the same. Mid 30s, high 30s at times, and low 30s. I guess it won't really drop from 30 FPS, which is nice. Again, I just wish we could have better textures. Oh boy, it's all good. It's all good, Roach. Alright, taking a bath now. Next is Call of Duty Warzone 3, or crossover with Modern Warfare 3, whatever. I'm playing at 720p resolution with the minimum settings preset, but we got FSR3 in this title. So I actually found that quality FSR3, even though this is a super old GPU, it actually improves FPS by a little bit. So FSR 3.0 is set to quality. We got frame generation to work with in just a little bit, but for now, I'm just gonna run it as is. Alright, so looking at the entire map, we're getting 40-ish frames per second, which is not completely terrible, but there are a ton of sweaty people playing this game, and you're just gonna get wrecked with a card like this. First of all, you can't really spot people very well at the distance at these resolutions, and secondly, the FPS are not great, okay? So this will be more of an infuriating experience than an enjoyable one, that's for sure. Where it drops the most is actually when shooting water directly in front of you, which is, yes, very weird and something that won't really happen very often, I think. But hey, if you hate water and you decide to do this, expect... why did you change the freaking gun? Expect 35 FPS minimum there. However, we got that frame generation, guys. So let's see what it does on such an old GPU like this one. We're getting 53 frames per second right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and enable that, apply the settings, capture cards. Yeah, just blacked out. And instead of getting 53, we're getting 96 frames per second. Now, the weird thing is, I'm not sure if this is working properly. Obviously, it's displaying way higher FPS. Like, this is not smooth. You can see that it's pretty choppy still, right? It's not 90 FPS. We're not getting 90 FPS. I'm not sure why it's saying 90 FPS on the counter. So either the frame generation in this game is a complete lie and it just doesn't work, or the frame generated frames are just not showing up with a GPU this old. And I really think that's what's happening here, because this is absolutely ridiculous, guys. It's not working at all. I know how frame generation works. I have seen it working in numerous titles out there. This is not working, okay? It's displaying higher FPS in the counter, but we're not feeling those, okay? They're just not showing up on screen at all. Next is Dota 2, and I'm testing this at 1080p resolution using the high settings preset right there. And as you can see, guys, this is going to be a really good experience in this one. To be expected, because Dota 2 still runs extremely well. It didn't get the nerf in performance like CSGO did with the update to CS2. It's really smooth. I am running 120 Hz at the moment, and it feels super solid here. Even though we're not hitting 120 frames, it feels a lot smoother than like 60 FPS, that's for sure. And also, these are probably the smoothest frame times that I've ever seen. The frame time graph is a smooth line. Zero stutters. More effects up here, still not a problem. It doesn't even move too much, the FPS counter, you know. It dropped to like the 60s at the beginning, so I might actually replay that. So right here is where that big team fight happens. As you can see, a lot of effects right here. Yes, there we go. 70s, 60s, still 63 right there. That's the absolute minimum, basically. Now, it's a recent Unreal Engine 5 title, it's the finals, and we're playing it at 720p using FSR2 performance. Okay, it looks very bad, and the lowest settings. Oh, it's starting to drop. It is starting to drop. Let's go, let's go. So I'm playing this one in solos, all right? It's like a deathmatch thingy. It's the first time that I'm playing this. Let's go. Get a couple of kills, come on. No, it didn't work. There are a lot of people here. Oh, that slowdown! No! That's awful! It might be because of the low settings, but the lighting just seems a bit off to me for some reason. Maybe it's just FSR coupled with the very low graphics. It just looks terrible. But yeah, I thought it would look a little bit better in terms of lighting in this Las Vegas map, you know? Alright, let's go. Can I do this? Can I do this? I got a ton of health! Come on! There we go. Good stuff. Hello there! No! Stop it! Oh boy! Oh, he's more confused than I am! Come on! Gosh! What the heck? Oh, I should have died a long time ago there. You know what? For the most part, it is playable, especially because the enemies have that outline. You can spot them well, even at performance FSR and 720p, which means that it's actually 360p internally. But I would never recommend this to anybody. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is next, my friends. Did it just crash? Yep. Okay, so the Radeon drivers actually crashed or whatever. Let's try it again. I really think it's a win that the 270X can actually launch the game, and I mean, I am running it at the moment, or at least walking it, I guess. Oh my god, look at the trees at the distance! What? Interesting. Frame generation might actually be working because I am seeing the artifacting that comes from it, usually. At least I've seen that in other GPU testing videos whenever I enabled frame generation. Input lag-wise, it's a little bit better than I expected, if it actually is running with frame generation. So there's that. Well, either way, this is how it runs. It's not great. It stutters a lot. It has some bugs. Oh, yep, there we go. It's definitely a better implementation than Warzone's frame generation, which wasn't working at all. So there's that. This feels and plays like 20 FPS with stutters. So this one is really interesting, guys. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Don't ask me why I'm saying it like this. I did it once just because, and people liked it, so I keep repeating it because I'm a comedian. No, but Avatar is a more recent title than Assassin's Creed Mirage is. Yet Assassin's Creed Mirage just gives us this little issue every single time. So we can't really launch it here, guys. Next is Stutter Night. I'm playing at 1080p using the performance mode and the far view distance as well as high textures. Yeah, what is this skin? Why? What? It's a white banana. What the heck is... I've never seen this before. I mean, you could say that I have a weapon. Ah, Stutter Night. It is dropping from 60 FPS without even maxing out our GPU usage. Look at that. It is not a CPU bottleneck, however, because even when I tested a GTX 1060, for example, or RX 580 in this exact same system, I was still seeing not maxed out GPU utilization. So, in performance mode, that is. So that means that if you use this performance mode, which is meant for like really old systems and CPUs as well, you won't really see maxed out GPU usage, but that doesn't exactly mean that there is a CPU bottleneck, because there clearly isn't with the 3600X, right? All right, let's go. Oh boy, there's one here. Oh boy. Okay. I didn't kill the bastard. Let's go up. Oh, they're fighting. What is happening here? It's a convention, a pickaxe convention. Okay then. So it is gonna stutter here and there. By the way, that's why it's called Stutter Night, of course. Also, inside of bushes, it drops a little bit into the 70s and 80s, but not a problem. I think it's always going to be above 60 FPS. You know what? What is this? What is this? Are you like, he's just chilling here looking at this beautiful view. Actually, not a bad idea, honestly, but why? There's a guy. There's actually a guy. Wait. I'm gonna go with the pistol, because pistols are very good here in Stutter Night. Hello? Whoa. No. That's cheating. That's cheating, mate. That's cheating. No. Why? God damn it. I hate this game sometimes. Now there are turrets now again? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I guess it's gonna range from like 60 or 70 to 130 or 150 at times. It's a bit inconsistent, but it is playable and it can be very, very enjoyable indeed. Next is Forza Horizon 5, and unfortunately it doesn't work with the on-screen display with this GPU in particular. For some reason it always crashes, but we can actually play it without it, and I'm also gonna run the benchmark run so we can see the results at the end of the clip. We're testing at 720p because at 1080p very low settings it actually did drop from 30 frames per second. TAA is on to smoothen those edges. I also added a little bit of sharpness right here, and over on the graphics quality settings we're using the low settings now instead of the very low on 1080p that I tested, I told you. And here we have it, guys. We can see that we're getting below 30 FPS on the top right corner. It's still crap even at 720p. No, 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 no. I'm gonna restart and play at very low then. 720p using the very low settings it is, and I'm also gonna disable TAA. Maybe that's way too intensive for this graphics card, you know, in this particular title. Come on, there we go. Finally above 30 FPS. We're getting 35, 32. It's going down a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna drop, guys. So finally we can have that 30 plus FPS experience. Unfortunately, what we can't have is good looking license plates. Because of the drivers, okay? The older AMD drivers, even on like the RX 580 and stuff like that, they do make the license plates look like that. It's terrible. At least the game is playable here, with a lot of cars on screen, getting around like 50 FPS, 40 to 50 on average probably. 1% lows would be on the 30s, and it's smooth, it doesn't stutter at all, so I guess it's an enjoyable experience, but of course, you sacrifice a lot on the graphics department, unfortunately. Alright, at the end of it, we got 45 FPS average, just like I told you, 40 to 50 on average, and the minimums were 31.4 right there, so it is indeed gonna be a stable experience at the very least. It is time for one of the most intensive games on the list, Cyberpunk 2077. And look at that, it's actually getting 30-ish frames per second on such an old GPU. So we're playing this one at 720p using FSR 2.1 on quality with a lot of sharpening, so it isn't really soft, you know, and we're using the lowest settings possible aside from the FOV. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, goodbye, Bob! There we go. I think we killed him with the first hit this time around. Good stuff. Very, very good. So if you can kill Bob, I guess this is going to be a playable experience, right? Oh boy, 31 right there. 28, 1% lows. Maybe it actually dropped when we hit Bob, but I was focused in not missing him, so there's that. I didn't really notice the FPS dropping there. But yeah, over here, it's actually not dropping from 30 frames per second, which is reasonable, you know, especially for a smaller monitor. It's gonna look okay, and it's gonna play alright, especially if you lock it to like 30 FPS. It is playable. It's like a Steam Deck, I guess. But hey, you can get one of these for like 15 bucks or 20 bucks, and you can't get the Steam Deck GPU for that price, so there's that. But yeah, I'm surprised it works especially with FSR 2.1, because the Kepler GPUs just display a black screen whenever you're using FSR. Next is Apex Legends at 720p, using the lowest settings here with very low textures. Okay, so looking at the entire map, we're getting 50s, which is not too bad, but it's a little bit worrying. That means that down there in very intensive scenarios it will probably drop from 60 FPS. Okay, I just landed and started counting our FPS, and it's actually a little bit better than I expected down here. It's getting 100-ish FPS on average. Look at this. Inside you can actually achieve a high refresh rate experience if you have a 120Hz or even a 144Hz monitor. Oh, look at that. It almost looks like NVIDIA. Oh, no, stop it, you bastards. What the heck? Oh, how do I get out of here now? There's one there. Okay. I'm gonna go this way. Well, you know what? You're spotting me. I'm gonna throw my ultimate. Just because. Alright, where are the bastards? Where are the bastards? Let's go. There he is. Come on, pick me. Oh my god. That was terrible. I didn't even see the explosions. Well, do not worry, my friends. I'm here in the firing range, which seems to be a little bit more intensive than the other areas where we were in the map. We're getting like 70s and 80s without anything happening. And now with the explosions, let's see. There we go. It only drops into the 60s. No way. This is really good, actually. Now we're playing Palworld. Where's my pal? Wait a second. I need you, buddy. I need you. Come over here. Let's go. Let's kill these bastards. What are you doing? What was that? Fireball out. Let's go. Okay. Throw these things as well. Explosions. Explosions everywhere, 6 FPS, 1% lows, because the stuttering is unbearable in this game, but at least we're getting 30 plus FPS. You know, it's actually performing better than the RX 550 and GT 1030 that I tested in this game, but of course, those GPUs are much lower power than this one. This is definitely not worth utilizing in a game like this. This is UE5 as well. It's very, very intensive on these old cards, and yeah, it is playable, don't get me wrong. I could still enjoy a little bit of Palworld with it, but my wallet wouldn't enjoy it because, you know, you tend to spend a lot of time in this game. And consuming 180 watts during the playtime is not a good idea. Alright, what do you do? Why are you killing Jack, buddy? Come on. Don't do that. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Jack. I can't control my boy over here. Also, every single card that I tested in Palworld so far, aside from this one, actually dropped the FPS the most around this forest area here. But this one dropped more FPS near, like, smoke effects and explosions than around here. Oh, same goes for the RX 550, actually, I think. So maybe it's just an AMD thing. Oh, I didn't show you the settings, did I? We're playing at 720p using the lowest settings, alright? And, yeah, it's quite playable. But again, it's just a waste of energy, I think, of power, you know. Alright, now we're playing PUBG, guys, and this is an older game, so it actually runs really well on the R9 270X, as you can see, 90s and 80s around here. Anyway, we're playing at 1080p, native resolution, using the very low settings preset, and you'll want to keep it like this because there are smoke effects and so on in this game, which will drop your FPS. Alright, here we go. Start counting our FPS. We're playing deathmatch here. It's 16 players total, I believe. Okay. Hello. Goodbye, sir. Okay, we're starting with a kill. Nice. I wasn't expecting that. I usually suck a lot in PUBG. And, oh, yeah, you can see it for yourselves. Why does this game put me against people that are level 200 plus? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's every single time. Also, first impressions about this map are pretty nice. You know, they actually made a pretty decent team deathmatch map right here in PUBG. Better than Call of Duty. Oh my god! Okay, alright, I'm done with this. You know, it's a decent experience in this particular title already. And now we have Spider-Man Remastered at 720p using the lowest settings possible, alright? Because it's not gonna be good. It might as well be called Spider-Man Remastered. Alright, here we have it. It's getting 30-ish frames per second. Oh, yeah, low 30s here means that it will actually drop into the 20s sometimes. Especially if I stop right here, probably. No? Okay. Okay, it's a little bit different than newer GPUs. Whenever you stand right here with newer cards, it drops a little bit more than swinging around. But this one is not the case. But I know for a fact that it will drop. Oh my god, okay, 29 right there. Not good. Not good. And finally, in the Central Park, we saw 29 again, but it's still 30s. Wait, what the heck? Why does it refuse to go down from 30 FPS? So, apparently it's going to be a playable experience around Central Park, but there is still a more intensive area than this one. So, again, just wait a little bit, okay? I'm gonna make it drop. There it is, my friends. 27, 26. That's exactly what I was expecting. It drops to 21 FPS. It is not really fine. Okay, avoid this one. And now the final game is Far Cry 3, before the one in the conclusion, but that's just a benchmark run. This one is being played at 1080p using DirectX 11, SSAO, and the high settings preset, guys. And let me tell you, this would have been a dream to play this like this at 1080p high with 80 FPS for 2012 El Crispo. When this game came out, I was stuck with a GT 630M laptop, playing this game at like 30 to 40 frames per second at 720p low settings, and I still enjoyed the hell out of this game. It's a really good one. By the way, if you're stuck with something like this, I really recommend you to check out Far Cry 3 and other games from this era. But yeah, guys, this is a flawless experience, and I just wanted to showcase Far Cry 3 here today because it's a favorite game of mine, and it's something that, again, you should definitely check out if you're stuck with a GPU this old. So yeah, basically this card will definitely provide... oh, hello, Jack! How's it going? Oh, that's amazing! Oh my god! It's gonna provide an amazing experience in games of this era for sure. Give me another hug, buddy. There we go. And it's conclusion time, guys. As usual, I'll have Rainbow Six Siege running right here in the built-in benchmark run, and it ran pretty well, actually. And should you buy the R9 270X in 2024? And the answer is no, I don't think you should buy a 270X, okay? Of course, the latest AAA games and like the latest games in general won't really run that well on something this old and outdated, but sometimes in this channel I do recommend really old GPUs that you can still have fun with, and you could still play a lot of older titles absolutely fine on something like the R9 270X. The problem with this is the 180 watt TDP. For like $10 more, you could buy a GTX 750 Ti and it consumes 35 watts. It is a little bit slower than the 270X here, but it will still play older games absolutely fine, and it won't really wreck your power bill at the end of the month, okay? So that's why I can't really recommend something like this. That's been it for the R9 270X. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly did enjoy making it a lot. I really like these old GPUs and checking them out in recent games and not so recent ones as well. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already and you want to watch more stuff like this one, and I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.